Welcome all back to Dominant Mets Nation, Hot Stove Series, Episode 3. And you know what, folks? Juan Soto last week mentioned a couple times the word dynasty. Dynasty. Winning multiple World Series is going to be the goal if you are a Met fan. That is the goal. That is the goal for the New York Mets and Mets fans. Currently, right now, this little statue here represents the only two World Series championships that we have, 86 and 69. What do we need to win championships? What do we need to have a dynasty? Yes, we have our marquee player, our superstar, Mr. Juan Soto, but more importantly, we need elite pitching. Elite pitching. Now, you could say easily we nab the best free agent on the market, that being Juan Soto. But who potentially could be the second best or maybe somehow supersede Juan Soto himself? Is it Corbin Burns? Is it Pete Alonso? I don't think so. Who else on the free agent market has that potential? Well, folks, that guy is Roki Sasaki. Roki Sasaki. All stops, everything has to be focused on this man. But we all know everybody in Major League Baseball can go after this man because of the way Roki Sasaki is on a rookie. He's on the rookie deal, what rookies are eligible for. He cannot sign those mega contracts. He just can't. He can only sign whatever is in the bonus pool right now. And the Mets right now don't have a lot of bonus pool money. They do not have a lot of bonus pool money that is geared towards signing international guys. But folks, it is not about the bonus pool money. The most Sasaki can make is $7 million. So if the Mets offer $1 million and another team offers $4 million, that is not going to be the make or break. We are going to get to why the New York Mets stand a pretty good chance, in my opinion, to get Mr. Sasaki. All right, but first, everybody is wondering, I hear a lot of things about Sasaki, but people are wondering what makes this guy special. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to present you with a scouting report of Roki Sasaki. I'm going to tell you how special this kid is and how elite he can be. Because I'll tell you this, folks, if Roki Sasaki was an actual prospect, he would be ranked the number one prospect out of all the prospects right now. That is how good, that is how elite he is. All right, so we're gonna go over those basic features and basic what this guy brings to the table. But first, I got to thank you, folks. I got to thank you. Last couple of videos have been very special. The comments, the new subscribers, everything has been great. So let's get this started off right. Smash that like button. We also started memberships on the channel. Go check it out. If you'd like to help support the channel, it helps out immensely. Become a member. But like I said, I always say, no pressure. I always enjoy our interactions. So that is what I look forward to. All right, so let's get to the scouting report first, and let's see how special this kid is. All right, folks, so I've done quite a bit of research. I have a very detailed scouting report. So if you want to know everything about Roki Sasaki, please stay tuned. Start off with the basics. Roki Sasaki throws right, bats right. He is 6'6", 214 pounds, and the kid was born November 3rd, 2001. So that just makes him 23 years old. All right, so let's start off like this. Scouting grades. Scouts, what they do is they grade a particular pitch on a scale from 20 to 80. 20 being crap, 80 being beyond elite. 80 being beyond elite, or you just say elite. Let's make it simple. All right, so his fastball grades 80 80. Top of the scale, 80. So that is elite. His splitter grades 70, which is plus plus. Plus plus. His slider grades 60 plus. His control grades 60, above average, and his command grades 55, average to above average. So he has 3 pitches above 60, so 3+ pitches, one plus plus, and one elite pitches. So he grades extremely high, extremely high. MLB comparison, he's been compared to guys like Garrett Cole and Randy Johnson. Incredible stuff. Incredible. But let's dig down deeper. Dig down deeper. We know Sasaki is a highly touted pitching prospect with a combination of raw stuff, refined mechanic, and he has a very strong baseball IQ that obviously has helped him become a rising star. All right, now let's break down his fastball. This is nuts, folks. Nuts. His velocity fastball sits comfortably in the high 90s, regularly reaching 100 to 102 miles per hour. This guy hits 102, 101 on the gun regularly. The velocity is paired with exceptional extension due to his height. Folks, the kid is 6'6", and he's got long limbs. His ability to generate elite velocity makes his fastball one of the best in the entire world. All right? But we all know it's not always about how fast you can throw. His movement. His fastball features impressive natural rise and late life, making it difficult for batters to square up. It plays well up in the zone, taking advantage of modern hitting trends that emphasize high fastballs. What does that remind you of? Throwing high in the zone. The ball looks like it's rising, natural rise. Kind of reminds me of Jacob deGrom, his fastball. So what Sasaki does is he often uses his fastball early in the batter's count to establish dominance. He consistently beats hitters with velocity, but he is adept at locating his pitch on both sides of the plate. Against left-handers, he will also often work inside to get them off balance or induce weak contact. All right, now we'll go over one of his weaknesses. While his fastball is extremely elite, its velocity can sometimes lead to control issues, especially if his mechanics get out of sync. While he has obviously limited flaws, maintaining consistency with such high velocity will be key to his MLB transition. Now, folks, I want you to remember this. This right here, he has mechanical issues. Sometimes because he throws the ball so hard. So sometimes he can get out of whack. Now, we're going to talk about something with the New York Mets that, makes him a good fit. But keep that in mind. What the Mets can do to help him with those mechanical issues, we'll speak about that shortly. All right, his number 2 pitch, he's got a splitter. His velocity and movement, it ranges from 88 to 94 miles per hour, and it dives at the last moment, making it extremely difficult to pick up for batters. The pitch often has 10 inches of drop, which makes it whiff pitch against both lefties and righties. So, look at this. You got already a nasty fastball and a splitter. So right there, that kind of reminds me of a Roger Clemens mix. Fastball, splitter. But his next pitch, he's got a slider. So you got like a Clemens, a Randy Johnson. This kid seems nasty. Okay, so usage and effectiveness. Sasaki utilizes his splitter as a swing and miss pitch, often following up fastballs. Particularly when he's ahead in the count, he generates a significant number of strikeouts with his splitter, especially when it's placed in the lower part of the zone. All right, now his slider. His slider is his third most used pitch, coming in around 85 to 88 miles per hour. So essentially, his slider is almost like a changeup, changing pace from about 100 to 102 miles per hour fastball to an 85 mile per hour slider. So that is extremely nasty, nasty. The pitch has late horizontal movement featuring sharp break with a consistent downward angle. So it breaks across the plate, but it breaks on a downward angle. So not only is it diving across, it's diving across and down. The slider is not as effective as his splitter, but it still serves as a solid offering to get strikeouts and keep batters off balance. His slider can be inconsistent at times, lacking the command he shows with his fastball and splitter. His fastball and splitter. So basically, his slider is his third best pitch. The slider is most effective when thrown in tight counts where the batters are expecting a strike to protect the zone. All right, so command and control. Control. Sasaki has above average control for a pitcher with such electric stuff. He does a good job of locating his fastball on both sides of the plate. His command, especially with his fastball, could sometimes be inconsistent, especially when he starts to overthrow or lose mechanics. I mean, the kid's only 23. With elite stuff like this, it sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Mechanics, delivery. Sasaki's delivery is fluid and athletic. His tall 6'6" frame allows him to generate extension and power, which helps his fastball velocity. His high leg kick and smooth arm action allows him to maintain an excellent rhythm and generate consistent velocity. He's got great balance, and despite his high velocity, Sasaki's delivery is relatively effortless. He does not rely on max effort pitch to generate his fastball. And that's good. Throughout the course of his career, you worry about these guys breaking down. And it's good to see that his delivery is, the guy who throws 102 miles per hour is virtually effortless. Now, this is what I look at. It's very important, obviously, the stuff. But I say this all the time. It's not all about the stuff. We've seen so many talented players fail. This is what I look for. Mentality. All right, so let's look at composure. Sasaki has shown a remarkable poise on the mound, particularly at a young age. His ability to stay calm in high-pressure situations make him a potential ace in the MLB. He's unflappable when pitching with runners on base and in tight counts. Pitching IQ. Sasaki has an advanced understanding of pitching. His ability to read hitters and tendencies, adjust to his pitch mix, and make in-game adjustments sets him apart from many young pitchers. That's what I like to see. I like to see a guy who's young, composed, and who's smart, who has a pitching IQ. All right, now, is he healthy? Is he durable? What's his injury history? Well, Sasaki has dealt with some injury concerns in the past, particularly a stress fracture in his elbow that has caused him to miss significant time early in his career. However, he has since returned to full health and has shown no signs of lingering issues. I think with a guy like this, this is a low risk, high reward situation, especially with this first contract he's going to be getting. Injury history really means nothing here. Now, this is what I want to see, and this is what I was alluding to before. Workload. In Japan, pitchers tend to have heavy workloads, which can raise questions about Sasaki's long-term durability. However, his mechanics and smooth deliveries suggest that he can hold up well for an MLB workload if he continues to refine his approach. Ceiling. Sasaki's ceiling in the MLB is basically ace-like potential, a pitcher who can dominate with elite velocity, command, and exceptional pitch mix. So I mean, the guy right now is the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. He's got clean mechanics. He's got elite stuff, a high baseball IQ. He's got composure, and he's also got a willingness to want to learn and get better. So this is the best of all worlds. And at the end of the day, why the New York Mets? Why the New York Mets? Well, folks, there are many different, reasons and rumors out there. In the last couple of weeks, you've heard that the Mets are a top contender for Sasaki, a top contender. And this was by Jeff Passan. He basically said that the Mets really, they are considered highly in the mix. And, of course, after the Juan Soto acquisition, why not? Why not? If you go through history, every time like there's a big free agent, it is likely for another mega superstar free agent to sign after. I mean, even if you take it so far back, last year, Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto signs on with the Dodgers, follows him up. I mean, even with LeBron 14, 15 years ago, Chris Bosh signs right after him. It's happened, with the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. I mean, it's happened over and over and over. When there's something special going on, and there's something special in Queens, and I got to give Steve Cohen all the credit in the world because he is the one who is cultivating this. It makes it a very attractive situation for a young guy like Sasaki. Sasaki has said, through his agent Josh Wolf, and the agency has said he likes what the Mets are doing, the pitching lab, and as we alluded to, mechanics, throwing the fastball velocity, he can get off track. So having a pitching lab having Jeremy Hefner there, and Hefner was also a guy who was praised by by the agency of Sasaki. Wolf and the agency really praised Jeremy Hefner, and they've been giving Sasaki a lot of advice about which direction to go in. It's not all about money right now. Other things that really Sasaki's going for is endorsement opportunities. New York, no better place. Pitching next to a guy like Juan Soto, you got your offensive, basically juggernaut. Now you got your pitching juggernaut. I mean, you're not going to be in the shadow of Ohtani. You're not going to be in the shadow of Yamamoto. This is your place, your town. I mean, New York, Queens has a heavy Japanese population too. So, that's going to excite the fan base. That's always good. And the Mets have had a rich culture of Japanese players, Kodai Senga being the last guy. But you go back years, Tayoshi Shinjo, that was probably like one of the first guys that I remember. But the Mets have had a pretty decent history. I believe Kaz Matsui too was Japanese as well. So I mean, they've had a rich history of bringing guys over from Japan. They've been successful at doing that. But it makes all the sense in the world for Roki Sasaki to not only consider, but to come play in New York. And I think his agent is going to kind of push him in the direction of a big city. The agent alluded to a small market. No way, Roki Sasaki. They kind of grouped the Mets as a top three landing spot for Sasaki. That top three. From all I've seen, I see the Dodgers, I saw the Padres, and you have the New York Mets. So you have your two West Coast teams and you have your East Coast team. And of course, you can always throw the Yankees in there. You really can. But I think the Mets right now are a more appealing, realistic situation. And you know what? They're considered the Dodgers of the East Coast. That is how they are being built. Sasaki would be a major, major, major acquisition. And folks, right now in the offseason, it is December 17th, and there are a lot of things left to happen. I mean, the lineup has bunch of holes. The starting rotation, I think we're going to have 2 or 3 more elite starting pitchers at least. The bullpen needs to be filled, and this is the year targeted that we went all in. Juan Soto didn't come here to play on a team with a bunch of holes. He came here to win multiple championships, as he said, a dynasty. So I think we're going to go, I know we're going all in on Sasaki, but I think we're going to go all in on a bunch of different players. The recent report that I saw, I believe it was by John Heyman, suggested that we're going to be in on Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott is the best reliever on the market, and it really doesn't matter how much he's going to be paid. We missed out on obviously a very, very good pitcher, Devin Williams, going to the Yankees. But, that would have cost us prospects. And those prospects that we would have given up, that would have been less prospects to pursue starting pitching. So if you have an asset like money, use that asset, get a guy like Tanner Scott. Now you have a dominating eighth inning guy, dominating ninth inning guy. If something happens in the future, you can always trade a Diaz if you think that you don't want him. It gives you more options. I just say it gives you more options, but in the very short term, it gives you that elite dynamic duo, eighth inning, ninth inning. Makes your bullpen that much stronger, and I love to see that. That's why I wanted a Devin Williams. But hey, you know what? If you play chess instead of checkers, now you have Brett Beatty. You have a bunch of prospects to pursue a Luis Castillo, and then in my respect, I still want to get that second pitcher. So you get Luis Castillo, and then Dylan Cease. Maybe that's a pitcher you want to go after. I hear Frambo Valdez. Some fans want to go after Frambo Valdez. That could be an option. But, you build your first package around Brett Beatty. You build your second package around Jet Williams. Now you have your two elite pitchers. Then you added Sasaki. And here we go, folks. Now we are looking like an elite rotation. Same thing. I said bullpen, Tanner Scott. But now offense. And I got a very important comment. And folks, I just want to thank you as always. If you didn't get a chance to like the video, please like. It is it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what it is? I got to say, these nighttime videos that I do are a little tougher because I work like 9-10 hours during the day. When I'm in the daytime videos are always easier for me. But I try to do this because I want to get you as much content as possible and as much quality content. So I research for an hour, 2 hours, and I try to get it for you. So the likes, the subscriptions, they really, really mean a lot. I really do appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to my next theory. So Bregman was a rumor. Alex Bregman was the big rumor. Mets are heavily interested. And, people are like, what about Pete Alonso? I think, folks, you asked me. I was trying to make sense of it. Bregman is a better defensive guy at third base than Vientos. Little better. Not worth really moving everything around, not signing Pete. Pete's a superior, in my opinion, offensive potential. He's a power threat. I'd rather have Pete. I'd rather have Pete by far, bar none, than shaking up the whole infield. Makes no sense to me. And then plus, you want to give the guy 8 years, over $200 million. Bregman? No, not worth it. Garbage. So my theory is the market on Alonso is bare. But still, you got Scott Boras and you got Pete Alonso asking for a ridiculous contract. Ridiculous. Over $200 million, looking for 8+ years. They're not really being realistic. So I believe the New York Mets are saying, you know what? Scott Boras, Pete Alonso, you don't want to take our fair offer? All right. You're playing hardball. Now we're going to go look elsewhere. And I believe it's a cat and mouse game. I don't think we're really interested in signing Alex Bregman. I cannot believe it. It makes no sense, or it makes very little sense to sign a 31-year-old guy potentially on the downhill. I mean, he was a guy, Alex Bregman, who has been good at taking walks, getting on base. But this year he's had career lows in on base. His on base was 315, on base 315. Not good. His lowest OPS of his career. So, I mean, you talk about Pete on, having a down year. Alex Bregman had a down year. Alex Bregman is a year older than Pete too. And then also too, I'm not feeling that move, and I think it's all about leverage. I think it's all about playing that cat and mouse game. That's my perspective on that. And so you have your rotation. I said how I build the rotation. Bullpen, I'd add a Tanner Scott, and people saying, hey, I don't think the Mets are going to do all that. I think the Mets are going to do all that. I think the Mets are going all in. And then all these moves, folks, all these moves that we're getting to next month when Sasaki is going to be able to sign with the team. Now we can evaluate what position each team has put themselves in. What are the Mets' moves besides Juan Soto? Now, where do the Mets stand in the grand scheme, the landscape of MLB? I expect this to be up there with the Dodgers, folks. Up there with the Dodgers. Now you see that you're Roki Sasaki. That's another thing for Roki Sasaki to consider. Now, this is the best team in all of baseball. Best team in all of baseball, hasn't won in a long time. Let me jump on that train. They already got a great team. They have a great owner. They got a great GM. Great, right place, right time, right situation. So many things for Roki Sasaki to be excited about. All right. So obviously, we're jumping back and forth here, but Roki Sasaki will evaluate what the Mets have done. So getting a Pete Alonso, securing that, you have Pete Pitt, after Juan Soto, or two guys after Juan Soto, however you want to do the lineup, you're securing talent at first base. You have to secure more talent. Center field, who's playing center field? Siri, I'm still looking for an upgrade there. Who's going to be a DH? I'm looking for an upgrade there. This lineup still needs help. I heard the other day, and right now we're all talking about what would be the best move, pie in the sky moves. It's the offseason. So somebody goes, why not sign Pete, trade for Guerrero, and keep Vientos? And I'm like, I've never heard anybody say that. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you're signing Pete, and then you're trading for Guerrero, and then apparently Pete would play, be a DH. But at the end of the day, if you sign Pete to, let's say $120-130 million contract, he's under contract. He'll play wherever you need him to play, and if you can get a Vladdy Guerrero, I mean, folks, look at that lineup. Juan Soto, Lindor, Pete Alonso, Vladdy Guerrero, Nimmo, Vientos. I mean, we are talking about the most elite lineup in all of MLB. You are competing with the Dodgers. You are competing with the Dodgers if you have Guerrero, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Nimmo, Alvarez, and the list goes on and on. So, that's how you get on the Dodgers level. And the more trades you make, when you give up these players, like if you're giving up a Jet Williams, I wouldn't give him up for a Luis Castillo. But let's just say you got Luis Castillo. Now you're going to add on to Luis Castillo. It makes a guy like trading Jet Williams a little easier to bear, because at least that trade is making or elevating your pitching talent to the next level, where you can compete for a World Series. You always say you'll be willing to give up that prospect or that top tier prospect if it's going to make you a World Series favorite, World Series contender. Those type of moves are what's going to make the Mets a World Series contender and hopefully a World Series favorite. And if you think about it, folks, I know the Dodgers got better because they're going to get Ohtani in their rotation, Snell in their rotation, so they already improved. But listen to this. Despite the Dodgers having an elite rotation, they still have a lot of injury concerns. I still concerned about Snell in the last 9 years, only pitching 2 out of those 9 years over 130 innings. They still have, injury. Otani's going to be coming back from a major injury, folks. Major injury. They're all concerned. Then you got Yamamoto in his second year. He was injured in his first year. Glass now has had injuries. So, the Dodgers are very, very deep in their starting rotation. But 1 or 2 injuries right then and there, I mean, the Mets could be clear favorites. So, that's just my quick take. As always, drop your opinions. Yeah, I was trying to debate, should I do the scouting report in the first or the second part of the video. I apologize, I'm like, I don't know if everyone wanted to hear the Sasaki scouting report, but I figure I'd just drop some knowledge on you. Research. Obviously, I don't know this stuff, but this is researched facts. And, I was trying to learn a little about him too, a little about his stuff. You hear about the guy, like, what does he have? The guy has an elite fastball. He has an elite splitter, and he's got a pretty decent slider. Good 3-pitch mix. And the guy, supposedly is beyond his years mentality. So, mental approach. So that really just tells me that he's going to be forward thinking. I don't think he's going to jump on the bandwagon in LA. I really don't. I don't see him jumping on being the number 5th, 6th, 7th best guy. I really don't. And pitching wise, he would come to the New York Mets and be essentially, he would be the ace. At this point right now, he would be the ace. But even if you got a Castillo, even if you got a Dylan Cease, I think he would still be the ace. I think he would still be the ace if he's as that elite. He might start off as a number 3, but by the end of the year, he has the potential to be the ace here for a very, very long time. And let me give you my biggest reason why Sasaki saved the best for last. Okay. So Mr. Juan Soto, we know, signed with the New York Mets. Great contract, great deal. Everybody was happy. But there was a huge celebration, and the Mets beat out the Yankees. They beat out the Yankees. And Juan Soto apparently got an amazing dinner to go along with that huge contract, a huge contract. So, hours after Soto put pen to paper at Citi Field, Steve Cohen hosted the 26-year-old and his loved ones at the world-renowned Benjamin Prime in NYC. Soto grubbed on mozzarella, tomato salad, and for the main course, he had a ribeye. We're told the dinner had champagne, dessert, he had themed cake. It was an amazing thing. It was an amazing thing. So this is the thing, what does that mean? What does that mean? Steve Cohen took the guy out for dinner, took the whole family out. What does that mean? Does that mean very little? Folks, this is very rare. Very rare. You saw how Steve Cohen pursued Juan Soto, made it all about family, but he personalized it. He looked what was important to Juan Soto and personalized that. And that is why I know he's going to do it Roki. David Stearns already has gone to Japan to scout this man personally. David Stearns has already said he is going to do everything possible to make sure this guy is a Met. Steve Cohen is going to do the same thing. He's going to find out what is special to Roki Sasaki. And, that is the extra work. That is the extra touch that got Juan Soto to Queens. And the Mets are no joking matter anymore. The Mets are not the Mets from the Wilpon era. No way, no how. This is an elite organization that just beat out the New York Yankees for Juan Soto. Listen to that. Just beat out the New York Yankees for Juan Soto. I mean, the last couple of years, despite not getting to the promised land, I mean, we've still secured talented guys, Scherzer, Verlander, despite them being past their prime, they were still good at the time we signed them, and they still had other big teams pursuing them. The Mets were able to, Steve Cohen was able to secure their talent. And by far, Juan Soto was the biggest catch. Francisco Lindor also, Steve Cohen wined and dined and smoothed and whatever he did. But we have a very special owner who cares. This is his passion. This is his love. This is his baby. The New York Mets. How many other teams owners can say that? It's just a business. You are a coworker if you are on the New York Yankees. But if you are on the New York Mets, you are family. Let that sink in. Any other team, if you are a player on that team, you're a coworker. If you are a player in the New York Mets, you are family. And I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you think. Thank you all so much. I apologize this went a little long. I will get you the latest updates when I have them. But again, I appreciate you. I love the way the community is developing. I think we got a great community. I mean, we got hundreds of comments. I apologize. All of them I can't get into, but most of them I do see. Please continue to drop the comments, share the videos. Helps out the channel tremendously. And I probably should have said this from the top, but we are celebrating 2 years as a channel on, I think, 12/28. So in about 11 days, we're going to be celebrating 2 years. So, I didn't think we are going to be able to get there, but it looks like we're going to get to at least 3,000 subscribers. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that. So, again, congratulations to us. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great night. And again, I'm saying goodbye again. Have a nice night.